Hello, how is everybody this day? Well, that is great. So, without further ado, let's get started. I am going to be using Soncerae as my first example of what is wrong with what some people are saying on YouTube. Soncerae has been lying these last couple of months, making a false claim about, and I quote her as saying, a black female computer engineer, unquote. Later on, the 7th of October 2016, Soncerae states on her own channel about her becoming a software engineer, and makes reference to the IT industry. Let's hear what she had to say.
I wrote a blog about that too. Another rumor, I'm not a computer engineer, I'm not into IT. There are so many people that have worked with me that have come into my comment section and have said, why are people saying these things about you? We've worked together, and I've had to actually delete their comment because I don't want all of these people who have been trying to dig up into my personal life to start harassing the people that I know. I just got into software engineering this year, and it took me a long time to get to where I am now. I have been working so hard on just trying to learn as much as I can in IT, and I was extremely interested in engineering. I started being interested in really doing engineering maybe last year. But I've been in IT for many, many years, and it's just not part of my life that I talk about on YouTube often. I try to keep it very separate from YouTube. So, for people to try to discredit me when I start making IT tutorial videos, it just saddened me that so many black men attacked me, and to try to make it seem like it couldn't possibly be an interest of mine being a computer engineer. It's sad to me.
Starting at 6:16, she just admitted to saying she just started software engineering this year. Let me repeat that once more. She just admitted to saying she just started software engineering this year. With that said, and a few seconds later, she also said she has been trying to learn as much as she can about IT. IT, by the way, stands for information technology, which by the way has nothing to do with software engineering. Software engineers create the software to run the hardware. That is not what someone working in IT does for a living. She has somehow confused the titles with one another. The software engineer is also the computer engineer. They are one and the same. The computer engineer creates the hardware and the software for the hardware. This is done before adding an operating system or other software, such as video games, Microsoft programs, and others. Which, by the way, these software programs are not created by the computer engineer. The software programmer, who uses programming languages such as C++, and who is not a computer engineer, will create these software programs. For reference, let's take a look at what IT, information technology, actually means by going to Wikipedia. Information technology, IT, is the application of computers and internet to store, retrieve, transmit, and manipulate data, or information, often in the context of a business or other enterprise. 2. IT is considered a subset of information and communications technology, ICT. In 2012, Zuppo proposed an ICT hierarchy where each hierarchy level contains some degree of commonality in that they are related to technologies that facilitate the transfer of information and various types of electronically mediated communications. 3. Business. It was one level of the ICT hierarchy. The term is commonly used as a synonym for computers and computer networks, but it also encompasses other information distribution technologies such as television and telephones. Several industries are associated with information technology, including computer hardware, software, electronics, semiconductors, internet, telecom equipment, engineering, healthcare, e-commerce, and computer services. 4. Humans have been storing, retrieving, manipulating, and communicating information since the Sumerians in Mesopotamia developed writing in about 3000 BC. 6. But the term information technology in its modern sense first appeared in a 1958 article published in the Harvard Business Review. Authors Harold J. Leavitt and Thomas L. Whistler commented that the new technology does not yet have a single established name. We shall call it information technology, IT. Their definition consists of 3 categories: techniques for processing, the application of statistical and mathematical methods to decision making, and the simulation of higher order thinking through computer programs. 7. Based on the storage and processing technologies employed, it is possible to distinguish 4 distinct phases of IT development: pre-mechanical, 3000 BC 1450 AD, mechanical, 1450, 1840, electromechanical, 1840, 1940, electronic, 1940 present, 6, and moreover, IT as a service. This article focuses on the most recent period, electronic, which began in about 1940. Soncerae has already been lying these past couple of months with her so-called video tutorials, making the claim that she is already a computer engineer. Let us first see an example of what I am talking about, so that way there is no confusion about what she has been telling her audience on YouTube.
So I was having a bit of trouble with my laptop. It had actually broke, and since I'm a computer engineer, So I was having a bit of trouble with my laptop. It had actually broke, and since I'm a computer engineer, so I was having a bit of trouble with my laptop. It had actually broke, and since I'm a computer engineer.
Busted. That didn't take very long to catch her in a lino, did it? I now rest my case with the words that are coming out of her mouth. Like I said, in the last couple of months she has been making the claim that she is a computer engineer in her videos, and today's date is 9th of October, 2016. To make sure you were not hearing things, she says it one more time in the same video.
So because I'm a computer engineer, I'm going to start doing more IT tutorials. For those of you that think that that's boring, I'm sorry. But I just want to let everybody know what's inside of this head, okay? Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about IT, let me know, alright? Have vision and stay focused. Bye.
Oh no, 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 whoa, you kidding me? Soncerae looks like one hot mess. Tommy Sotomayor was right about her. Back to the topic at hand. As far as this industry goes, in order to even get hired as a computer engineer, it is required to have a minimum of 4 years of study to earn their bachelor's degree. One of the leading universities around the world, and an authority regarding the subject of computer engineering, Virginia Tech University. Let's read what the university has to say about computer engineering on their very own website. About computer engineering. Computer engineers continually push the capability and applicability of computers in every industry and every facet of modern life. Boosting capability and usability. Artistic conceptual art that brings computer engineering to mind. Computer engineers embed computers in other machines and systems, build networks to transfer data, and develop ways to make computers faster, smaller, and more capable. Computer engineers are improving the ability of computers to see and think. They are making computers more mobile, and even incorporating computers into fabrics, clothes, and building materials. The body and the mind. Computer engineers are concerned with analyzing and solving computer-oriented problems. CPEs understand both the hardware and the software of computers. This enables them to choose the solution that is best, not just the one they know. Sometimes the answer to making a program more efficient is a change in the computer itself. Sometimes it's cheaper and faster to change the software than the hardware. The knowledge of both the body and the mind of a computer helps computer engineers work at the microscopic level and on a large, system-wide scale. A field of its own. Computer engineers use many of the principles and techniques of electrical engineering and many of computer science. Computer engineering, however, is more than a blend of two other fields. The major technical areas of CPE: cybersecurity, networking, design automation, machine intelligence, computer software, biomedical, embedded systems. Careers. Computer engineering graduates typically have some of the highest starting salaries in engineering. Computer engineers have the option of moving into hardware or software positions, or blending the two. Typical industries hiring computer engineers include financial services, computer manufacturers, chemical companies, defense contractors, consulting, transportation, manufacturing, and consumer goods. Computer engineers are equally successful in large multinational firms and small startups. Notice there is no mention about software programming, no mention about web development, which both in fact are two totally different subjects altogether. Certifications are for certain types of jobs within the IT industry, and are not required or to be confused with computer engineering, which requires a degree. Certifications are also not required, and not to be confused with software programming or web development. The majority of all the world's software programmers and web developers do not have a degree, nor will most ever obtain one. It is not a requirement, but Soncerae is somehow convinced, and will tell you otherwise. Careers requiring certifications for both the IT and computer repair industries are, for example, Apple Certified Mac Technician, CompTIA, A+ Certified Technician, Windows Server Administration, and CCNA Cisco Certified Network Associate. None of these job certifications have anything to do with computer engineering. To clarify, none of these jobs have anything to do with designing the hardware and the system, being the machine code, known as microcode, also known as firmware, which takes a real computer engineer to make it work. Keywords are machine code, microcode, and firmware. Show the wiki page about microcode. Microcode is a technique that imposes an interpreter between the hardware and the architectural level of a computer. 1. As such, the microcode is a layer of hardware-level instructions that implement higher-level machine code instructions or internal state machine sequencing in many digital processing elements. Microcode is used in general-purpose central processing units, as well as in more specialized processors such as microcontrollers, digital signal processors, channel controllers, disk controllers, network interface controllers, network processors, graphics processing units, and in other hardware. Microcode typically resides in special high-speed memory and translates machine instructions, state machine data or other input into sequences of detailed circuit-level operations. It separates the machine instructions from the underlying electronics so that instructions can be designed and altered more freely. It also facilitates the building of complex multi-step instructions, while reducing the complexity of computer circuits. Writing microcode is often called microprogramming, and the microcode in a particular processor implementation is sometimes called a microprogram. More extensive microcoding allows small and simple microarchitectures to emulate more powerful architectures with wider word length, more execution units and so on, which is a relatively simple way to achieve software compatibility between different products in a processor family. Some hardware vendors, especially IBM, use the term microcode as a synonym for firmware. In that way, all code within a device is termed microcode regardless of it being microcode or machine code. For example, hard disk drives are said to have their microcode updated, though they typically contain both microcode and firmware. There are Apple computer engineers working at Apple, there are Microsoft computer engineers working at Microsoft, and there are Cisco computer engineers working at Cisco. I work for a company that is in partnership with Intel at their main research and development facility. Intel is no exception. Intel has computer engineers working at Intel, developing new and improved microprocessors, such as the famous i7 microprocessor. Soncerae is confusing computer technician with computer engineer as being one and the same, which they are not. I myself took a course on Microsoft Server 2003 at Spokane Community College in Spokane, Washington back in 2008. This course has to do with getting certified and not to become a computer engineer. Software programmers, learning programming languages such as C++, C, Java, Ruby, and Swift. Certifications not required for obtaining a career as a programmer. Nor does a programmer, or even web developer for that matter, ever need to have a degree, unless an upper management position becomes available within the firm that might require one to manage people. I myself have one certification through CompTIA, which is the IT for Sales certification that I passed back in 2012. I have been selling IT products and services off and on for years. If a salesperson says something to a client, who is an expert in their own field, that was not true, then they lose all respect for you. I myself, on occasion, given clients the wrong information. I took responsibility going over my training to make sure I know what it is I am talking about, so that it may not happen again. This was not deliberate misinformation. It was a mistake of not remembering or not paying close enough attention to detail, and I took action to correct it. Soncerae, on the other hand, did not do this for her own audience. I caught Soncerae lying in all her so-called video tutorials. She is lying because she knows not of what she is saying. I first caught wind of Soncerae over at Reg the Bad Guy channel, which after listening to him speak the truth about Soncerae, led me to find Stupidity Exodus. Stupidity Exodus had caught Soncerae plagiarizing someone else's online article regarding malware programs. What she should have done, in order for her to retain respect, she should have told her audience, look everybody, look what I had found. Tell them to go to the website and read the article about how to protect your computer. Or she could have just gave credit and read the article for them, but she did not. She pawned it off as if she wrote that article herself. Therefore, this makes Soncerae a complete fraud. Yes, I am going after Soncerae, and I will point out the lies in the videos. The very same videos she kept claiming were video tutorials. Not a single video is what you would call a tutorial, rather just a video podcast of lies. What I plan to do after each so-called tutorial by Soncerae, I will end it with an example of how to make a real video tutorial, a tutorial about Mac OS X. The tutorial was done by no other than yours truly. I gave training classes to clients where I worked, and on my own. This is how I made some of my money, teaching my clients how to use their computers for Mac, Windows, Linux, and how to use their printers and other devices. Soncerae pretty much deleted, or hid, the so-called computer engineering videos and science videos, along with the playlist. I even had a short dialogue with her, and she kept beating around the bush about her videos. Here is an example at Reg the Bad Guy channel, so you can read for yourself before she deletes it. Her last comment at the end was a big booty hurt response, because she knew I had called her out on her buffoonery. I am not going after Soncerae to make her look bad. She managed to do that all on her own. Not only has she lied about what she has said in these videos, one only needs to look at other videos of her. She admits to being promiscuous with both men and women, by telling everyone about her own promiscuity. She is not an honest person nor a role model, and because she is not a good mother due to her actions, she has done damage to her own daughter. To look at herself in the mirror or lens every day, and convince herself that she is an honest person, or a role model, is evidence within her own videos that says otherwise. She is not even qualified to walk a group of kindergartners across the street. This is a case of mental illness that cannot be denied. However, due to her sick and wicked commentary, glorifying her debauchery, I digress. She is lying to her audience, who are watching her videos about computers, who are ignorant about the subject matter. In some of her other videos, she talks about the black community. Some people are thinking she is some kind of authority when talking about computers, and her authority is not authoritative. She has done the black community a major disservice by lying to everyone. When she tells these tall tales, people like myself lose all respect for her right away. Her own opinion has been revealed many times over, due to her own actions. She actually believes, within her own mindset, that she is providing a service, being the black community or otherwise. On the contrary, her actions are telling people who have morals that she is nothing but a liar. Soncerae is doing the black community and others no favors by lying. Soncerae is just the first of a few others that I will be going after to point out their lies on video. I am going after CCK, Crazy Crystalline Kerosene, who is another person, another liar, who lies a lot within her own videos, and as of late, made her classic crybaby video, because she lied about the Veganator and did not like his own personal preferences. So, I am not singling out Soncerae, she is only the first to be exposed. I can care less if Soncerae makes a response video. If she does, then fine. If she does not, that will be fine with me as well, because I really do not care. Until next time, cheers.
In this video, I'm going to show you how to use sharing and permissions within any file or folder within your Macintosh computer. So the first thing we need to do is actually go to the Macintosh hard drive, because what I first want to show you is this folder called users. If you have more than one user account, and in the case of my computer, I have 4, and the shared one is kind of a pre-made account that you could turn on or off within your Mac system. But this one here is the one I'm logged into, which mimics this home folder you see here on the sidebar. So any one of these other ones are ones that I can log into and then check files and folders. Now within my home folder, as we've seen before, these are my files and folders. They're all blue and they all have icons. But if I go up to my other user account, web development, you'll see that most of them have a red circle with a white minus in the center. This means I do not have sharing and permissions access to any of these folders or the files that's within them. So if I want to gain access, the one thing that I'm going to have to do is change the sharing and permissions. So I can either Command-I, right-click, or Control-click on the Downloads folder, select Get Info from the contextual menu, and at the bottom here, we have sharing and permissions. Everything is grayed out at the moment, and that's a good thing. And the bottom right-hand corner, you see a padlock that's locked. That there is a good thing. Because it's locked, that's why this is grayed out. Now, basically, web development, as you can see here, the name has the privilege of read and write, where everyone else has no access whatsoever. But I am now located in my YouLoveMac account, so I want to have the same privileges as web development for the downloads folder within web development. So I just need to select the padlock icon, and it's going to ask me for my username and password. This allows me to unlock the padlock and gain access. So no longer is this highlighted, or excuse me, grayed out. We now have access to do what we want. And as you can see here, I can change web development to read only, or only have write only privileges to put things in my Dropbox, not be able to move or copy folders or files. Okay, so if I want to go ahead and add YouLoveMac to this, all I have to do is come down to the plus symbol, and I get a little list of all the users on the account. So I want to go ahead and choose YouLoveMac, And as you can see here, by default, I only have read-only access. So I want to change that to read and write, just like web development. Now, as you can see, over to the right, downloads no longer has that little red symbol. And if you look over here, I have a lot of files and a few folders within the downloads folder within web development. Now, the other folders within the downloads folder, at least most of them anyway, has the same thing, a red circle with a white minus. That means that I only unlocked the sharing and permissions for this folder, which is considered a parent folder of this folder, which would be considered a child folder. So if I wanted to get access to this folder, the same process would apply. Okay, so another thing too, I can also delete anybody from anywhere on here just by highlighting them and then selecting the minus, which is to delete that particular name from having any type of privileges whatsoever. Here we have the action menu, and right here, and I want to show you real quick, again, we have the downloads folder here in the Finder, and we have this HTML hyphen something something. Now, if I went ahead and came over here and selected apply to enclosed items all at once, and it's going to say here, are you sure you want to apply selected owner group and permissions to all enclosed items? Well, yes, I do. And now you see that that red circle has gone away, and now I can see the access, or I can see all the contents within that particular folder. And then again, there's a folder within that folder. Okay, so that's all I have to do there. Now, if I want to go ahead and come back over here to sharing and permissions and put everything back just the way it was, we can go down to here to revert changes, and that puts everything back in its original state, including removing the You Love Mac name right here within the permissions. Make sure that when you're done with this, in the Get Info window here, this dialog window, you want to close the padlock. You don't want anybody messing around later on if this is left open. Okay, that's very important. So this is a security feature built in within your Mac if you have multiple user accounts on the same Macintosh computer.